Hello everybody. Well, I don't know if I'm quite, who I am usually when I make these videos. Things are strange and different, and the forest behind me is strange and different. This video is dedicated to my very special friends Alicia and George. Back in the United States, my friend Alicia is doing has finished a story, a very, very special story about the area behind me. I'll share more about that as it comes about. I don't know how much she's actually ready to share yet at this point, but it's very intriguing. Now you can see that the forest behind me doesn't look quite like the forests I typically hike in, and that's because it's not, and I'm in a very different place. It's a place that I never would have actually thought to have come here. What is this? One of the things that's interesting, I still have access to things. I'm still within range. I am on the outskirts of Aokigahara, the famous suicide forest here in Japan. But it's more than that. It's a forest of legend and mystery and curiosity for the Japanese for a very long time. It literally means the sea of trees. And even though I live relatively close to this area, I can drive to this area in about 45 minutes from my home. I've never come here because, for a couple of reasons. One, because it's too close to civilization. You can hear noises. I'm not very far. There's a road right over there. You can see the road right there. I've just left the road. I'm close to a road. We may hear cars go by, and there's people in the areas around there. We can hear sounds, bang, bang. Maybe you've heard some already. But what I'll explain to you is, let me start moving, right? You came here, you want to see the forest, right? I don't think we're going to find anything terrible. This is the suicide forest, but we're kind of in an out-of-the-way area of it. I don't think I'm in a part that the people that come to kill themselves. I hate even saying that kind of stuff, especially on this channel. But it's a reality, it's a fact. But the people that do it don't come to this area directly, I don't think. But I want to show you, this area is famous for its rock formations. One of the things that's so famous about it. It's volcanic in origin. And let me go ahead and collapse my umbrella. I have to turn into Softypapa for a second and just leave the umbrella right there hanging on this tree. Stay there for me, and I'll clamber down here. Fortunately, I wore my hiking boots. I'll share with you more about why I'm here in just a moment. But let's go down here. It's famous for its rock formations and volcanic and moths everywhere. Okay, hear a car going by back there. There you go. Look at all this. And look at this. Would you look at this? Wow. There are caves in here too. I've never been here before. This is all new to me. And wow, look at this. This suppression. This must be this is a plunge pool. I don't know why this is all completely dry, but there's the waterfall right there. It plunges into this depression down there. We're going to go down there in just a second. But this whole area here is just rocks strewn everywhere. You can see the bridge back there where the road crosses. And I don't know why this is all devoid of any water. I've been hearing about the temperatures rising out here as Fuji-san is, they're worried about Fuji-san erupting, that the ice caves have melted all the ice. And maybe that's part of the reason. Maybe there's not enough water. Look at these strange rocks down here. Aren't these curious? Wow, look at these. I gotta keep checking my clock every now and then and check the time. I keep promising to tell you why, but I'll tell you in just a second. I'm all the way down to the bottom of this depression. Let's look up here. Wow, look at that. Now these rocks apparently have, they're magnets or iron or something, and it screws up compasses in the area. But GPS should work just fine. There goes this wall, lots of crane flies and stuff. I could probably clamber up there, but not safely with one camera. So I'm going to go back up, get the umbrella, and we'll just walk through the forest a little bit. And I'll tell you why I'm here. I'm actually working today. And I'm here with fellow teachers from my school, and we are going visiting a camp where we're going to take some kids next month. And I had no idea that I would get this close to the forest. Well, I knew I'd be relatively close, but I had no idea I'd be in it. And actually sent some messages to my friend Alicia, some photos on Facebook, tantalizing her with some images of the forest that her project involves. And guess what? Turned out that I blew it. I brought bento, box lunch today, and nobody else did. And they stopped at a fancy restaurant that's out here in the woods on the outskirts of the forest. They've gone in for an hour to enjoy their lunch at this fancy trout restaurant, like $30 a meal, a plate stuff. Not my kind of thing at all. And well, guess what? I had bento in my bag, and I didn't want to let it go bad. My 400 yen bento, my and a $6 bento. Let's follow this little trail up here. So I decided to, I said to them, you guys go in and enjoy your lunch. I'll eat here in the car. And they said, we're going to be gone for an hour or so, Kurt. And I said, that's fine, I'll just go walk around in the forest. So hey, there we go. Here, these are beautiful flowers. Let's do it together, hey? We've got, how much time do we have left? Let me check our clock. I got this thing set for, the alarm set for 2:35. It's 1:59. We've got, well, I should be back by the car by 2:35. So we got a little bit of time. Let's do it. Try not to fall off this cliff. We are entering the famous sea of trees, and I'm getting wet. I have to be careful. I can't be my usual self because I can't get blustering wet and go back and ride in my friend's car. So I'll put my umbrella like this ahead of me to kind of knock some of the water off. Now we're up at the top here looking over the edge of the waterfall down there. So if you're not familiar with this area, this is a part of Japan that is very close to Mount Fuji. We're actually on the flanks of Mount Fuji. Let's see. We're on the flanks of Fujisan right now. And this forest is famous for being a kind of place where you can easily get lost. And I could really see how, it's like an old sign, huh? I could definitely see how that could be the case. This is much more dense and kind of tangled than what I'm used to exploring in the Minami Alps area, the Southern Alps area. I hear water falling over here. Much more dense and tangled. Maybe the water right here is just water falling on the tree. There's that gorge down there. Now, like I said, we're not really in the forest proper. We're kind of in the outskirts. Probably need to go a little bit further that way to actually get into the true forest. Ooh, what's that smell? Yeah. Got a stench. Wow. What is that over there? Well, it really is just a sea of trees, isn't it? Yeah. Oh, the rain's really starting to come down. Oh, I'm really getting wet. Okay, what have you got? We're going to emerge from something here. Pretty dense over here. Now, I think if we go this way, we might hit up with the road again. I don't know. Let's go this way. I'd kind of like to get out of this just to save my friend getting her car all wet. I don't want to come back to the car all wet. I mean, it really seems like a trivial thing, doesn't it? But, it's not my car. So, as long as we're here, I guess I'll share with you what I know, which isn't a lot, about these woods. I'm very wet. Since ancient times, the area has been considered a strange place. Partly because of the denseness of the forest and the seemingly difficulty in traversing and getting anywhere. Place of spirits and supernatural activity. We're opening up here. I think if we go this way, we'll bump into the road again. And it is also considered a place, thought to be a place where people practice the not often talked about tradition of I'll talk at you as we walk, of leaving grandma out in the cold. There was a practice in old days when times were difficult in the winter, perhaps, when there wasn't enough food, and to go around and make it to spring. leave an old person out in the cold to die of exposure. And this forest was thought to be such a place. Even though the temperatures aren't extreme, exposure period can do the job. Whoa! Squishy. Look at that. Feels like cavernous down there. Wow, it's really densely carpeted. Look at this tree. And so that's one legend, or one element of the history of the place. Another is that it's a suicide forest. That's probably what it's most famous for. And people come here apparently in the hundreds every year to end their life, either by hanging or other methods. And I don't recall of them, sometimes in combination. And there used to be a situation where the government would send patrols out to look through the forest and try to find bodies in the forest, and rangers out to try and discourage people from killing themselves that came out here. And that was stopped some years back, when the annual report of how many suicides were happening every year, how many bodies they were recovering from the woods, rose such that it seemed to be encouraging people to come to the forest. People would come from all over Japan to kill themselves here. I think the road might be right over here. And this interest in the forest, this suicide forest, was only heightened when there was a book published, basically a suicide manual published in Japan, and it was listed this forest. The author listed this forest as the ideal place to come to die. The ideal place in Japan. Here, kind of boulders, common boulders in here. The ideal place in Japan to kill oneself. And after that, and the way the Japanese are, tending to want to follow the recommendation and basically the way of others, in Japan, it's all about doing it the right way. If this particular forest was deemed the right way to die, if you're going to kill yourself, then others began to come here to do so as well. So unless my directions are way off, we should be coming up on the forest on the road soon. Although I've never been to this part of the road, I really don't know where it is. But I think it's right up there. But I can see how you could easily get twisted around. Ah, there it is. There it is. Good. Okay. I think we're leaving the sea of trees now. A little 10-minute tour of the forest. Here we go. Emerge here. Let me do a check on the time. My camera's getting really wet. Okay, we better start making it back along the road, back towards that restaurant. They could finish. I'm concerned that my companions may finish their meal early. I think they felt bad that I was left outside. Although I tried to explain to them nothing good. Not that I don't like their company, but having an opportunity to wander alone in a green place, especially if it's wet, is about as happy as I could possibly be. So, but they may come out of the restaurant earlier. I've got the key to the car. I hope so, at least. Oh, there we go. Yep. And I better get back there. So there we go. A little 10-minute tour through the outer edge, the outer periphery of the famous Japanese Sea of Trees, a place that people still come to end their lives. And I'll leave you with one story. My friend Toshi, he's a taxi driver in Shizuoka, and where I live, and which is about 45 minutes from here. And he told me the story of how a man one night entered his cab, and the man was wearing a salaryman with his salaryman's suit and tie and everything, and the man had just an expression of dejection and just ravaged, mentally ravaged man. And he had a parcel with him, a large parcel, and he ordered Toshi, my friend, to take him to the Sea of Trees out here in the middle of the night, in business suit with a tie. Well, my friend, he knew exactly what was up with that, and not wanting to be a part of that, he refused to take the man. and dropped him off. The story doesn't end there. After Toshi got off the shift that wee hours of the morning, he found that one of his the man had called in for another taxi, and Toshi's coworker had picked him up and had indeed delivered him here to the Sea of Trees. And had left him in this lonely spot in the middle of the woods with his parcel and his outfit, his suit and tie, and his desperation, the desperate look in his eyes, and that the man disappeared, or he paid him, and then the man, he didn't disappear, but the person drove away and left him there, completely, utterly enclosed in night. I don't even think the man had a flashlight. And when Toshi asked his friend, he said, "How could you do that? You know what he was going to do. How could you leave him in the woods like that?" Friend, and his friend simply said, there are people like this in the world. Just we are different. And he simply said, it's a great fare. An hour's taxi fare. So forest off to this way, and more forest off to this way. So I'm going to go ahead and leave you. Here's where we actually started. I entered the forest here. We made a round trip. Short 10-minute or so odd round trip through the famous Sea of Trees, aka the suicide forest, the place that I never thought I'd visit. Even though I've done my adventuring here in Japan, I never had any inclination to come here. It just didn't interest me. There's just too much about the darkness. I'd much rather go where there's light, but maybe we've found a little bit of light, and maybe shed a little bit of light. Maybe that's a better way to think about it. Something that's a dark place that maybe needed a little illumination. So I'll sign off for now, everybody. Wish you all the best. Go find my friends as the crows chastise me for my trespass.